Hey everybody, welcome to Let's Take a Look at Cubemen. This is an indie strategy, I hesitate to say casual, but I think in its Steam genre it did have casual listed. If that's a misnomer, then I apologize. This is actually pretty interesting. Going now for $5, and I think it's well worth the price if you're interested in what you see here, and I will show you why. So as we start here, you'll see there's a number of different game types. This is very much a real-time strategy game, but not in the same way that you would consider like a StarCraft or, you know, anything like that to be a real-time strategy game. You'll see what I mean once we get started here. So I'm going for classic defense. Really the game that this reminds me of most from the past few years, or at least the last 12 months, would be Frozen Synapse. It's kind of like a tactical strategy game where you get to choose your units. So you can see I have cubes to spend, 35 up in the top left corner, and every one of my units requires me to spend some to get it. So I'm going to buy 3 grills right now, which are essentially just grunts. They're like pistol-using cubemen that I can use to deal like a little bit of damage, but mostly I'm just trying to get like some crowd control up here. So they're going to be firing a lot of bullets, but they have very low hit points. This is, I guess, you know, strategy game is not necessarily the word that most people would use. You could almost call this a tower defense, but it's not really tower defense in the traditional way. So you can see that there's cubemen down there. Red cubemen are bad, as you might expect, and our blue cubemen are good. Now, every cubeman from them that gets to our base costs us a life, and at 10 lives, we lose. Now, every time we kill an enemy cubeman, we get some cubes that we can spend on cubemen of our own. Now, we're just using the basic units here, but eventually we can upgrade. You can see we have Grill first, which is what we're using mostly right now. We can get Flint, Modi, Fred, Ricky, Laszlo, and Mike, and each one of those has different kind of skills and techniques that bring to the table that make them very valuable units. And we'll get to see a lot of those in this video, actually, because I believe this is going to be a fairly long level, maybe on the order of 10 minutes or so. So I'm just going to let these guys continue to take care of things. Generally speaking, I find that the best strategy when you're first starting out is just spam them with like as many low priority units as possible. So these are not great units, and you can see they're dying fairly easily, but as long as I keep just basically spamming production of them, I should be fine. Now, if for whatever reason you find, oh, I don't like Grill here, he's getting hit too much, I can move him over here, and then put him behind a little bit so that hopefully he will take a little bit less damage than he has been taking so far. But for now, just going to keep spamming some grills out there. We lost one. Let's put this guy in a safer position. And then, you know what, maybe I'll buy a Modi as well. Now, if you hover over, you can actually see what Modi does. Oh, you can't now because I actually spent the money. But Modi is an artillery cube man. So he actually fires little artillery shells that you will see here. There we go. Sometimes they don't hit, and when that happens, I beat Modi with a belt until he's within an inch of his life. Because that could really cost me. Now, we're starting to lose a lot of cubemen here. Modi! You're really doing me wrong here, but let's buy another Modi, actually. Because obviously our first model is not getting the job done. So I like to transition. You know, at the start of the game, you want a lot of these, like, really cheap enemies, or really cheap cubemen that are essentially just going to be, like, cannon fodder. Basically, I put them on the front lines and let, like, my more expensive guys, like the artillery guys, hang back and do damage without being in as risky of an area, shall we say. So I'm going to move this grill over here, and I'm going to move a Modi in, and then I'm going to surround this Modi. Reason being, I want him to be as protected as possible. Now, after this, we will start buying some more cannon fodder in the form of grills, but let's also pick up a Flint. And Flint is a flamethrower unit. I really should have moused over him so you could see. So you can see there is a lot of strategy. Like, it might seem easy so far, but I assure you that that's not the case. I actually lost twice on the second level of this game. I only have about a half hour played so far. So I'm very, very early in the stages of this game, but I'm really enjoying it so far. And I find that this is, you know, maybe not a masterpiece, but unique, and oftentimes that's enough for me. Did lose another grill there, so let's pop some more grills in here to protect our investments. And in fact, let's move this grill up and buy a Flint and pop him down here. We are losing our Modis at an ever-increasing rate, unfortunately. Or losing our grills, but that's okay, because they're not going to be that much useful for that much longer. And we can start using our Flint as cannon fodder, actually. And wow, we got an achievement unlocked. I've gotten a lot of those, actually, already. Let's move this guy back here. Generally speaking, you don't have to do this much unit control, at least from what I've seen so far, but I am doing this much unit control because it's allowing me to keep these guys alive. Now, let's actually save up for better units now. We won't worry about Modi so much. Let's pick up a Ricky. Ricky has homing rockets, which he will shoot at enemy cubemen, and he's actually a very valuable unit. And then once we get 10 cubes, which of course we get for killing the enemy cubemen, we'll surround Ricky with a grill, which means that grill will probably take most of the damage right off the bat. And then we can probably save up for another cubeman. maybe another better Cubeman. So the enemy Cubemen have different properties as well. Like some of these ones just lumber at you and may or may not shoot you when they get close. You can see these ones do indeed shoot at us. There are other ones like these big ones over here. They will do even more damage and they can shoot from a greater distance. And then there are boss Cubemen, which can actually do things like rain shrapnel down from the sky from a great distance to take out your Cubemen from afar. And those are big pains in the ass. But there does seem to be a pretty big diversity in terms of enemy types. So we're going to pick up a few more grills here, which will essentially just serve as cannon fodder for us. How's our other grills doing? Fairly well so far. How's Ricky doing? 80 out of 80 HP. That's really good. You want to keep your Cubemen as high on HP as possible, of course. Looks like these guys are all whiffing on their shots, which is fine by me. Reason being that you can't just, like, heal them, with the exception of this Mike Cubeman, who actually will go around and heal your teammates, but he's very expensive at 100 cubes. So I'm hoping to pick up another expensive Cubeman here, but we are going to have to buy a grill to protect our Ricky. And then once we hit 40, maybe I'll buy a Fred, and you can see what Fred does. There we go. Fred has an ice beam, essentially, that slows down enemies. So let's first buy Fred, and then just kind of put him over here. He won't be able to hit, like he'll be out of range, but we'll set him in a position where he can, use his ice beam to actually do a good job slowing enemies. So we'll put him, keep him here. We'll put a grill in front of him, and we'll put Fred right here. And that should leave him reasonably protected. Not really protected, but reasonably. We're going to toss another grill over here, because we're going to lose some of these shortly. Oh, yeah, we're going to lose a lot of them shortly, in fact. Let's toss another piece of cannon fodder over there. Now, it's worth noting that this might not be the greatest strategy of all time. Again, I am very new at what I'm doing here, but it seems to be working out for me reasonably well. Let's pick up a Laszlo, a deadly particle beam. He shoots at enemy Cubemen for massive damage. And we'll move Laszlo here, although that is not a very safe position. Laszlo, get back. Did Laszlo... Oh, I sold him by accident. Okay, well, that's all right. I don't mind that. By Laszlo again. I'm not quite sure what that sound is, but it is annoying the bejesus out of me. I'm basically out of cannon fodder. Okay, I gotta pick up some more grills. Some more bear grills. Now, one thing you might notice is that things are moving reasonably slow, and in most tower defense games, you do want some kind of way to speed things up. There is a clock down here that I can use to speed things up, which is nice. Oh, you know what that sound is? It's definitely because the boss has just come out. So let's get some more Modi, which we can use to kind of shell these guys with artillery. I am pretty confident that we are going to succeed here. You can see shrapnel's raining down from the sky, but we are on our 20th wave. So I'm reasonably confident that things are going to turn out well here. This is actually much faster, or at least it seemed much faster than the last round I played. And the more I play, the quicker I'm finding myself becoming adept. Oh, we do have a few more bosses coming out. And I have how many cubes? 55? Well, we could one more Ricky, why not? Ricky's nice because he has homing rockets, which means it basically guarantees him a kill. But you can see some of the enemies we're coming across now are more difficult. Like this guy has a homing crossbow, some of them have rocket launchers, and some of them have flamethrowers of their own that they can actually use. So they have their very own flints. And the enemies have not been pushovers so far. I've mentioned this a couple times already, but I found the game actually surprisingly difficult so far, even though it does give me an achievement like every 2 seconds, seemingly. And we're just going to hopefully take out these bosses. Don't seem too rough with our mortars, our artillery shells, and our grills. Our one grill remaining at the end of the game, just holding it down. Cool, let's exit back to the main menu. Thank God that horrible noise has ended. And we'll take a look at some of the other game modes before I play maybe one more game of Cubemen. So we have defense, and there's various variants on the way you can play defense. You can play with limited number of players, limited number of cubes, just rockets, or endless, which is more like a tower defense game where the waves just keep coming and you fight them off as long as you can. There's also Skirmish, which I think is where this game more reminds me of Frozen Synapse, and you can play skirmishes versus the AI or skirmishes versus human players on the network. Now, I don't think the game does online play very well. I mean, I can't say anything about the netcode or the actual online experience because I've never been able to get into a game, which is a problem that you run into with a lot of Steam indie games on network play, unfortunately. But it would be nice to see like a lobby or something where I could chat to people or set up games, or like an option to invite a friend or something. Like right now, I don't know if I'm the only person playing Cubeman online, so if I go to host a game, for example, or join a game, I'll hit continue, waiting for opposition player. I don't know, like if there's 10 people online, I could be waiting here for 5 hours, or maybe there's 10,000 people online, and I'll only be waiting here for 2 minutes. And that's why I feel like some kind of lobby screen where you could actually choose which game to join would be a lot better. But, you know, assuming that does work, that would be a nice way to play. Instead, we're just going to do a skirmish against the computer here. I've never actually done a skirmish, so we'll see how it works. What level should we use? All of these say hard, which I don't really want. I want an easy level. We'll play Zipper. This one looks relatively linear. Alright, so I'll be the blue team. My enemy will be the red team. Okay, how do we want to do this? So I guess we'll pop some grills out. Oh, so it is similar to a tower defense game in our own right. We are just trying to push... It's like Dota. I totally get this. We're trying to push our creeps towards their wave more than they can push their creeps towards our wave. Totally on my level here. Alright, let's get this guy out here. Alright, so I'm just going to set my guys up on these towers. I'm going to try to copy almost the style that the AI is using right now. But it looks like they have one more unit, and they also have a flamethrower unit, so perhaps they're even doing better than I am right now. You can tell their wave is definitely more pushed. Did they send that guy with a gun? That hardly seems fair. Maybe I can do that. Let's send my flamethrower guy all the way out here. Establish some presence later on. But I don't want my flamethrower guy to be close enough to get hit by their flamethrower guy, if that makes any sense at all. So I'm just going to start moving my guys up one by one. You know, let's actually move that guy back. Oh, my flamethrower guy's in range. He's still got a lot of health, though. He's going to die if I don't move him back. We got to move him back. That's unfortunate. Not going so well so far. I'm calling upon my dense knowledge of Dota strategy. Getting hit by artillery shells now. Does he have a Modi? How did that happen? I thought I had a Modi. So I'm going to put some cannon fodder over here and then establish a Ricky right here. And this rocket launcher guy should make my life much, much easier. I'm hoping anyway. I think it's all about establishing that you have better units earlier. So Ricky's just going to keep firing away with his homing rockets, hopefully taking out their defenses pretty quickly. I don't know, that guy seems to have a lot of HP left. Let's build another Ricky. We'll sell this... I don't want to sell Modi. We'll sell this grill for 5 cubes, build another Ricky, and put him very close to the front lines here. Oh god! How did he get... He's in my base! I think that was a waste of gold on their part, honestly. Alright, now we gotta kill Flamethrower Man. Shoot! There we go. Normally you don't have to do any micro like that. I hesitate to call something that easy micro, but you get where I'm coming from. Alright, Modi, fire some shots in there. Take him out. I trust that you can make this work. I hate to say it, but I feel like they are doing a better job than me right now. Ricky's health is getting pretty low. Let's move him out of the line of fire. Put Modi a little bit closer and move Ricky back in here. Maybe pick up even another Ricky, I feel, would be like a good call. We'll toss him in here. Right in the line of fire, but oh well, I'm pretty sure he'll survive well enough. And they're getting grills for the front line. But I think rockets will beat grills. Fairly easily, I'm hoping. Jesus, we got a grill here? Oh, that's a mortar, right. I always forget, like, where I have my heroes. Or where, again, with the Dota 2 talk. You know, I'm just going to keep spamming Ricky's, because so far this seems to be working pretty well. I think I have an advantage in terms of total cubes. Now it's time to press that advantage. Actually, let's put Ricky over here. Take out that Modi that they just bought, and I can start pressing my gold advantage. Again, my Dota 2 terminology comes back and helps me out here. Where is this guy go? This guy can't actually think that he's going to survive in my base, can he? Seems like a total waste on their part. Alright, Ricky, you're focusing on the wrong guys, man. I love you, you're my favorite unit, but kind of just cost me 50 cubes there. That's substantial. Alright. I think my wave's pushed a little bit, which is good. Do we want another Ricky? Yeah, I feel like I should save up for a Laszlo. But they've got another Modi coming in. I can probably easily hold that off with my Rickies. Anyone just, like, tuning into this video who didn't listen to the first little bit of it is going to be totally confused. Alright, Ricky, you need to shoot that guy. We can't let our Modi die. We almost have a Laszlo up. Uh-oh, they really outnumber me now. But Laszlo's gonna be up very shortly. How are my Rickies doing? Ooh, getting pretty low, actually. That's bad. Now we'll establish a Laszlo. Although I think the computer is doing better right now. See, they went with a much different strategy than I went with. My strategy was I'm gonna basically just rush out Cubemen as fast as possible. Or sorry, my strategy was I'm gonna go for high quality Cubemen. They went for quantity rather than quality, and it seems to be actually working out fairly well for them. Ricky, run, Ricky, you can make it. Ooh, that was almost a direct hit. All right, let's get some flints up here. They have more of a presence than I do right now. No question about that. But we can still turn this around. You can see they only have 6 cubes. Well, I only have 1 cube. And I have more total health right now, or total points. I'm not sure what the plus sign here is. Total health wouldn't make sense. Alright, let's get a Fred up here. I'm not sure, what is this guy thinking? Trying to establish, like, a spot right here. They're really pushing me down, though. This might not be a good position. It wouldn't surprise me. Oh, that was a total waste. Yeah, I'm gonna lose this one. But it's not surprising me to lose this game because the computers are actually really good. Like, I can't complain about the AI in this game, and I often do. But they're doing a very good job. What do I have? 34 cubes? Alright, we got enough for a Modi. We'll toss him in here, but I don't have a whole lot of hope. They know this game better than I do. Alright, and we're gonna lose our flamethrower man. Oh, it's a Fred, our ice gun man. Establish some flamethrowers even closer to our lanes. We have 50. I mean, that's enough for a Ricky, but I feel like I'd be better served just getting some grills. Trying to save money, maybe pick up a medic bot at some point. That is, of course, if they don't get to my base, which they might indeed do right now. Cool strategy used by the computer to kind of like distract my turrets with their own turrets. I mean, they're not actually turrets, but since this is a pseudo tower defense game, they're the equivalent of turrets. Look at Modi's shots here. Like, Modi, what are you doing, man? You gotta actually hit those. I'm not sure if it still does damage if you miss. If not, that would be pretty disappointing for me right now. We almost have enough for a mic bot. We need another 28 cubes. I don't think it's gonna happen. Let's crank up the game speed a little bit so we can watch this happen even faster. Watch my loss. Oh god, they're getting in. Okay, I need to buy. We'll buy the mic bot first. There's no place to put him though, so I need to sell this Ricky. Not good. Not good at all. Oh, actually, no, there is a spot for mic bot, and he's probably gonna get murdered in like 2 seconds. What do I have? I have 6 lives left, so they only need to get 4 more people in. But I got mic bot repairing things here. Although I don't think Mike has a lot of health. Why do I call him Mike Bot instead of... He's got cubes, not bots. And this will be the end of Mike Bot's life. He says, after he says he doesn't want to call him Bot anymore. And I think this will probably be the end of the game as well. Oh, we have 4 more lives. Yeah, it's inevitable at this point, let's put it that way. Mike did his best, but he couldn't get it done. Alright, well, basically, that is Cubemen. Currently going for $5 on Steam. I don't think it's the greatest game of all time, but it's definitely interesting, and for the low price of $5, I think this is a worthwhile purchase. There are complaints. In particular, I think that the online play is kind of sloppy, and I haven't had a chance to get into a game because it seems like it takes 5 minutes or longer to get into one, because every time I've queued up, I've waited and waited, and I have no indication of how long it's going to be or how many players are online, or if I'm just, like, queuing into the abyss. But by and large, this seems pretty interesting if you're into like tactical games, similar to a Frozen Synapse, a comparison that's come up a lot this video. This is definitely up your alley, and $5 is not too expensive to pay for an experience like this. As always, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.